So we took a weekend trip here in Bangkok, Thailand, and we went to a mall called Icon Siam. And we were very surprised to see that there are a lot of numerous car dealerships inside the mall itself. And we saw Great Wall Motors, also known as GWM here in Thailand, and they had this very interesting electric vehicle right here. And this is that car right here. This is called the Great Wall Aura Good Cat electric vehicle. Today, let's take a first look at this car and see what we could probably get in our country in the near future as well. When I first saw this car in the streets of Bangkok, I thought that it was a Porsche. In fact, this entire front end and the lights up front is very similar to like a squished down Porsche Panamera. The hood, very similar to the older Volkswagen Beetles, all these curves right here, and the color scheme is just incredibly retro, incredibly quirky. Even your badge up front, it looks like an exclamation point, and that is just really a funky way to do things and to brand things. By the way, this car right here is by Great Wall Motors, but they have this sub-brand called Aura, which has this Good Cat as their sole model, in the same way that we have the Haval brand for the SUV line of Great Wall that we actually had in the Philippines before, and there are plans to introduce it once again. Since this is called the Good Cat, they call these the cat-like automatic LED headlamps. Really funny. Down below, there are even these textures right here to give it somewhat of a cat's whisker blush things to it. Here on over at the side, the Aura Good Cat looks equally as quirky and funky. You have these rather big wing mirrors right here, which is a little bit too big for the size of this car. And speaking of the size of this car, it is more or less the size of a subcompact hatchback, but a little bit taller. So think like Mini Countryman, about that size. Down below also, you have 18-inch rims wrapped in Continental tires. While the rest of the Aura Good Cat is very retro looking, the rear part is a little bit more futuristic. Look at the curves of this tailgate and how there's like this upper level right here and this bottom level, which also doubles as your bumper already, to this LED light bar effect, and also the font that they use for the Aura Good Cat and Great Wall Motors badge. And once you do open up this tailgate, despite the size and the shortness of this tailgate, there's actually a lot of space back here. You can expand this all the way up to 858 liters of space, which is definitely more than enough for a car of this size. And you can do that simply by holding on these tabs and folding your seats 60-40. Also, there is a false floor right here which contains your emergency warning device as well as where you can put your charger. Powering the Aura Good Cat is this electric motor right here with a 63 kilowatt hour battery. Now, this motor right here can give you 143 horsepower as well as 210 newton meters of torque. If you want a little bit more power, you can even get the Aura Good Cat GT. That one does around 170 plus horsepower, and it also has a couple of extra quirky and sporty body kits as well as a slightly different interior. You can actually charge this from 0 to 100 in about 10 hours in a normal charging socket at home. But if you use a fast charging DC socket, you can charge this from 0 to 80 in only about an hour. Now here inside the interior, let's check the door first. And that sounds really nice, especially for a small car such as this one. I absolutely adore the interior of the Aura Good Cat. Just like the outside, it's extremely quirky. You have like a 3 or 4 tone design right here. There's this semi-green, and there's a darker green, and there's beige, and there's even this cloth part with like plaid on it. It's very interesting. And even your seat belts right here, they are also green. So I've never seen that in any other car right here. This air vent area is also in orange. Anyway, moving on. Now, Great Wall Motors says that this instrument cluster right here is a 17.25 inch screen. I'm not exactly sure if this is just added up, having 2 screens just connected together, but yeah, it looks like it is one piece right here. Your steering wheel also has a very quirky design. It is surprisingly large too. Unfortunately, it only tilts but doesn't telescope. What's kind of weird with the Aura Good Cat is despite having still a lot of room at the back and having power seats, you can't seem to move your seats a little bit further back. So if if you are about 5'9" maybe or 5'10", you might find that these seats right here simply do not go back far enough. Anyway, for me at 5'6", this car is very much perfect, the size. And also what I like about this interior is that it feels more like an open concept. So you're at the center, there's nothing to hit, there's no console, and even your shifter doesn't take away that much space since it is a rotary knob, and you don't even have park mode. It's just reverse, neutral, and drive. You have an electronic parking brake with auto hold as well as a wireless charging pad. But probably the most quirky part about the Aura Good Cat is this cat paw right by the center armrest, and that also feels really nice. Now the leather in this car, it's kind of weird too, but weird in a good way. It doesn't exactly feel like real leather nor synthetic leather. It's a little bit of a mix of those two, but at the same time, it also kind of feels somewhat like felt, especially for the material right here by your dashboard. Up top, you even have a panoramic sunroof, and this car gets 6 airbags, 6 speakers, as well as a slew of advanced driver assistance systems. If you also notice, the Aura Good Cat has these switches right here for your AC, and they are incredibly similar even in feel to that of a Mini Cooper or a Mini Countryman and all of that. Down below, there are even 2 more USB ports as well as charging outlet and 2 more cup holders. Now here at the back, space is also pretty good in terms of legroom as well as headroom, but this could be because you can't really move that driver's seat all the way back, which really is weird. So if you are 5'8" or 5'9", maybe even 5'10", you're not gonna have any issues back here. As for your toys, honestly, there's not too much right here. So there is a USB-A charging port right here. You have this center armrest with 2 cup holders, and that is about it. The center passenger will not even get a headrest up top. But what's good here is that you can easily seat 3 people abreast because the car feels relatively wide actually for a car that looks this small, and you barely even have a transmission tunnel since, well, this car doesn't have a transmission. Speaking of the floor though, the batteries of this car are under the floor, and they are rated to be submerged in 1 meter of water for up to 30 minutes. So waiting this car through floods of the Philippines or even Thailand should not be an issue. So now finally we talk about pricing and range. The Aura Good Cat comes in at around 1 million Thai baht. But because of some government incentives, that can even go down lower. And Great Wall Motors Thailand will announce the final pricing of this car very soon. But let's take it around 1 million Thai baht. That translates to around 1.7 million pesos. And for that price, you get an extremely quirky, both retro and futuristic electric vehicle with a range of 500 kilometers in a single charge. So I am truly very excited to be able to try this out, hopefully in our shores in the near future. And since Great Wall Motors is coming back to the Philippines, I really hope that they not only bring in the Haval brand of crossover SUVs, but I do hope that they also bring in this Good Cat right here, the Aura Good Cat.